All right, Joe the Pro here. Welcome to the Fascinating Five. Today I am at the Casa de Kennett with Len Kennett, the legend himself. I'm very, very excited to be here with Mr. Kennett. Mr. Kennett, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for inviting me, Joe.
Great to see you. Beautiful house right here on the set number 7 of Virginia Country Club in the back. Number 17. What a beautiful place to be living, Len. I'm so excited to be here. A lot of things it's just incredibly impressive. You've been a PGA pro. You've been a golf professional for 68 years since 1950.
Well, you might be interested, Joe. It's a little different. When I turned professional in 1950, you did a 5-year apprenticeship. So I did not become a PGA member till 1955.
Is that right?
But I have had full credentials since that time.
Okay.
Right into this year.
Well, let me back it up just a little bit from when you turned pro. It was very interesting to hear that you were a Marine. You started out the Marine Corps. You want to tell that story about joining the Marines and being in line?
I was 17 years old. I had to get my mother to sign for me. You could go at 17, you could go at 18 without parents, but go 17, you get your mom or dad to sign. So my mother signed for me, and away I went. I had no regrets. The Marine Corps was fair to me, good to me. I did my best for them. I wouldn't change a thing.
Right on, and they signed Japan surrendered while you're in infantry training at Camp Pendleton, is that right?
I sure was, and that was advanced infantry training, they called it, which really wasn't terribly advanced. But I was again standing in line, getting ready for the invasion of Japan, and this kid came running up and he said, "Whoa, whoa," he said, "the war is over, they've dropped a big bomb." So they gave me 4 or 5 days off, changed my assignment, and I went aboard a Navy vessel. You probably know, Joe, every major warship has a Marine detachment. There were 90 Marines on our aircraft carrier, which was good fun, interesting for me.
And it was the USS Lake Champlain, my East Coast, my upstate New York friend.
It was brand new at the time, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know what's become of it since then. I think they may have taken it out of service. After all, this is 70 years ago now.
Right. Well, it's an FFG now. It's a missile ship now, the USS Lake Champlain. It's no longer a aircraft carrier. But what an interesting story that. Well, we grew up on Lake Champlain, and you were stationed on the USS Lake Champlain after the war. That's amazing. You went to USC, and you played on the golf team after the Marine Corps.
I sure did.
And you won the Southern California Intercollegiate.
I did win that, and that was a good tournament. You might say it. Well, I claim it was the best intercollegiate on the Pacific, on the California coast. And then I again qualified to play in the Nationals, and I was a quarterfinalist there. That's a good field. I told you Palmer played, Don January played, a lot of good players that later become well known as professionals.
And you made it to the quarters with those guys.
Yeah, not bad. Final 8.
Len could play. That's awesome. That's a great story. And before I go on to your PGA career, you also played in 5 San Diego Opens.
I did.
And you
made the cut 3 times.
Made the cut 3 times. How exciting is that? You've shot your age 387 times.
That's correct.
You shot a 70 when you were 79. A 69 when you were 78.
That's exactly right.
That is phenomenal.
Now, Joe, people ought to understand this too. Shooting your age, depending on where you play, is less impressive. Virginia's a pretty good golf club.
Yes, it is.
It's par score there is good. So I was always proud that the bulk of my 387 were played right over there.
Right in the backyard?
Yes, sir,
Virginia.
almost.
That's great. So getting back to your Southern Cal PGA career, you turned pro in 1950. You're assistant at Santa Anita.
Correct. I shot 63 there.
Did you shoot a 63 at Santa Anita? Oh, my goodness. Len could play, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, see, remember, I was quite a bit younger then.
Right, a little bit. You went to, keeping true to your Marine roots, you worked at Marine Memorial for 7 years as the head pro.
I did that.
So a lot of people out there might not know that. Len was at Camp Pendleton at the golf course there for 7 years after being a Marine.
The Marine Corps treated me very well down there. I had just couldn't do an adequate salary, and I enjoyed the Marine Corps affiliation.
Right, the family, the brotherhood.
Oh, they're good people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, and that's great. So then you went to San Gabriel Country Club.
Another good club. I liked it very much. I'd have stayed there forever, except my daughter was very sensitive to the smog.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had a chance to help open up the Los Verdes golf course. And that's turned into a very nice place to play golf. But Joe, it was pretty tough sledding to start.
Oh, that.
Yeah. The biggest tree was 3 feet tall, and it was just a little different place than it is now.
That was in 1964, so those
exactly.
So those trees have 54 years of growth on them. They're a little bit taller than 3 feet right now, The
tallest one was 3 feet.
That's great. So you're at Los Verdes you opened it. Sure. You were there for 34 years.
That's right.
And then the legend continued at Lakewood Country Club.
Yeah, the Lakewood run into some bad trouble. The clubhouse had gotten bad. They had to lock it up, board it up, holes in the roof. They said to me, would you be willing to go down and take a look at Lakewood? Now, I'm staying at Los Verdes. I generated good income from there. It's all on a percentage rental. So I said, sure, I love old Lakewood. I used to play there years ago. So I went down and helped them there, and we got a citizens group and borrowed $400,000 from the city of Lakewood, put a new roof on it, and away we went. At Lakewood, a lot of people don't know this, but Lakewood and Riviera are the only 2 courses that Ben Hogan has played in competition in California. Well, in Southern California. I guess he played up north too, yeah.
Lakewood, huh? Hogan played Lakewood, huh?
He won the Long Beach Open.
Is that right? When it used to be played at Lakewood?
Yeah. Oh, he won I would guess that was 1949. I was still at USC, and I missed a class or two to go down and watch Hogan and Snead play.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, honest. I really enjoyed it.
That's phenomenal. So you were at Lakewood. I remember it was at Lakewood where I first came across Mr. Kennett's path in 1990, was when I met you. I remember I just gotten my apprentice card, and it was the first course I was going to go play with my little PGA apprentice card was Lakewood. It was close to Navy. It was kind of close. And so I went over there, and I knew the pro. I knew Dave and Melissa were there. And I was about to go tee off, and they said, well, wait a minute. The pro wants to meet you. And you came out, and you're in a tie, and you shook my hand, and you asked me about my career, my goals, and you made me feel 10 feet tall, Len. You made me feel 10 feet tall. And I said that day, I was so glad that I got in the PGA program because I want to be just like this man right here who just took his time out of his day and made me, you know, feel so proud to be a golf pro. I'll never ever forget that. And then it was, you know, 28 years later, you were inducting me into the Long Beach Golf Hall of Fame. So that was it was unbelievable. You and a few other people have meant an incredible amount to me, and I'll never forget that day, Len.
Well, before I say anything more here, too, I should say congratulations to you, a sincere congratulations. What you have done for the wounded warriors, what you have done for those Navy hospitals guys, what you've done for the blind kids. If you remember, I helped you for a while, but my darn knees won't let me do it any longer.
I sure do.
But you have done a great job for that.
Well, thank you, Len. I appreciate that. It's all team, though. All team, always.
Yeah.
It was nice when you were coming down, when you were able to come down and help us out. It's always so good to have the legend in the house. So I did want to ask you some stories. I know you got them all, but can you tell me about this? Tell us the story of when you saw Paul Runyon and he shot his age at 89. He shot 73, and he went to
Paul and I had gotten to be good friends when I was an assistant at Santa Anita, and I helped him out with some junior golf lessons, free junior golf lessons. I helped him out. So we developed a good friendship. And later, several years later, he heard that I was going to Greenbrier. This is, 20 years after my meeting him. And he said, well, be sure to tell Sam Snead. I said, hello. You've heard the story. Runyon beat Snead 8-7 in the PGA Championship. So they've still had that relationship. Paul had just, at 89, he'd shot 73 at Annandale, hard golf course.
Yes, it is.
So I saw Sam in the pro shop, and I said, Sam, I'm bringing greetings from Paul Runyon. He says, oh, how's little Poison? I said, he's fine. He just shot 73 at his 89th birthday. Well, Sam jumped out of the chair about 2 feet. He says, I don't believe it. I said, no, you know different. If Paul says it happened, it happened. That's the way Paul was.
That's awesome. Little Poison, was that his nickname?
Yes.
Little Poison.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't very big. And he, 5'8", 135 pounds. He beat Snead again 8-7. Snead is built like an Adonis, but little Poison got him.
That's a great story. You got a story about a 9-year-old kid named Tiger at your tournament. What was that all about?
Well, I was lucky. I had been doing these junior golf tournaments. As a matter of fact, I will be doing my 64th consecutive junior championship next summer at Lakewood again. I just finished my 63. We had over 200 this year. Anyway, what we have always done, Joe, is we put what I call peewees on the back nine and only let them play 9 holes. The kids 10 and up that can move along get 18. Well, Tiger was too young to play the 18, so we put him on the back nine. Of course, he shoots 36, doesn't even draw a deep breath. The mothers couldn't believe it. Oh, no. I said, no, ladies, this guy is going to be famous all over the world in time. And of course, 36 is pretty good at 9.
Yeah, 36, unbelievable.
Yeah, Lakewood with the water, you can make bad scores too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you better hit it straight there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many people watching this right now that couldn't shoot 36 on the back nine at Lakewood.
Yeah. Wow, you know the story just as well as I do. Tiger is just unusual.
Yes. Yeah, what a treat to have him in our neck of the woods all these years, through his formative years, definitely.
Yeah.
So, 387 times you've shot your age. That is just incredible, to say the least. But as far as the junior golf, you mentioned it. In 2018, you had the 63rd annual Len Kennett Junior Golf Championship. You had 215 junior golfers making it the largest one-day junior championship in California. So for 63 years, you've been running this monster junior golf tournament over at Lakewood. Everybody knows about it. Well, this is all over Southern California.
It started at the Marine Memorial.
Is that right? It started at Pendleton?
Then it went right to San Gabriel. We did it at San Gabriel. Then we went to Los Verdes and did it there. And I did two a year for a while, both Los Verdes and Lakewood. When I left Los Verdes, why, we just concentrated on Lakewood. But it's all about the kids.
Yeah,
you know, you better believe that because that's the future of the game.
You know, so many pros have come out of working for you over the years out of your shops.
Yes, a few.
Yeah. Right, a few. Yeah. I remember Mike McMonagle came out from your...
You know, he's got a big job now.
Well, I remember I went to Lakewood and helped him with the juniors for a week, and that was basically where I got my education working with juniors. From Mike McMonagle, I learned how to work with kids. Even though I worked with kids, he took it to a whole new level, which he learned from you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to be proud of all these young men and ladies that have worked for you. Melissa Stevens is now the manager at Navy Golf Course. And
doing a good job,
Doing
too.
a good job.
She's
one
smart
of yours.
as a whip.
Yeah, she's one of your good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's countless more that have worked for you out there. And
you know, he's now called Amand Bateman. He's a golf pro in Bangkok, Thailand. He's got a very successful school there. He was Dan Bateman when he worked for me. Yeah. He was a whale of a good assistant, a good player, and he's tearing things up over in Thailand now.
That's awesome. So also, one thing that struck me in your bio here was you formed the Los Verdes Men's and Ladies Golf Clubs. You started the junior programming at 50 cents for lessons and golf equipment. You started the Junior Golf Championship back then. You started a true championship for all women in Southern California. Organized and sponsored the event to encourage the underserved golfing population of women in Southern California, which has been a long road to hoe for them. And
still is.
Still is. Started a pageant of golf at Lakewood and included the golf championship for men, women, juniors, and seniors. But throughout your whole career, the thing that struck me, and I know a lot of people that know you, is how much you're about the people. You're about the people. The clubs, the men's and ladies clubs, the juniors, this huge 63-year-old junior golf tournament you started way back when. What is your philosophy around people in this business?
It's all about the kids. That's an oversimplification, but the kids, you have to start there. I think men get a fair shake at many of the clubs, but I think often the women and even kids, some are sort of like second-class citizens, and I'm a big believer in both of those, women and kids. They just planted a tree to commemorate. There's a walk bridge, for Len Kennett over at Lakewood. Well, Ladies Club just planted a tree to honor my wife, Marie. So I was pleased about that.
Right. And how long were you guys married for?
I was married 65 years.
65 years, and we just lost Marie a couple years ago, and we got a picture here of you and Marie on your wedding day.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Is that awesome?
I was a bigger guy in those days, wasn't I?
You were a big guy. What were you, about 6'3", 6'4"?
I was not quite that. And that's my wife and me. we were taking a little walk. We'd been married 50 years then.
Is that your 50-year walk, 50-year anniversary? Yeah. That's awesome. Any plans in the near future? What are you going to do? You said you're having trouble playing now?
Yes, unfortunately. I played on my 90th birthday. I tried to play on my 91st, but I confess my balance is a little funny. So I said, okay, this has got to be the end now. But again, I've made some good scores, and I never was a great player and never made any claims to be. But I was a pretty solid club pro. You know, play pretty close to par and sneak under some. That's about the way it was for me.
Well, you played in 5 San Diego Opens and you made the cut 3 times.
I did.
So that's saying something right there. There's not a lot of us club pros.
You'll never believe this. San Diego in those days only had a few golf courses. You cannot believe that. We played the San Diego Open at Caliente.
Caliente?
Yeah, that's right. And that was the tour stop, you know. They'd all run. That was a big field, good field. Yeah.
Wow, what a career. Did you ever become friends with Hogan? Or?
No, I did not. No.
It's just you knew Sam, you knew
Paul.
I
was a good friend of Lloyd Mangrum.
Lloyd Mangrum.
Yeah, Lloyd and I were pretty close. But no, and of course, Paul and I were just very close.
What, before we go too much farther, I'm going to ask you a little question about golf instruction. Just sitting here, on the spot, what would you consider your favorite golf tip?
Do you just want one? Huh? Well, I think so many people fail to aim the club properly. There's an old saying, Joe, if you aim at nothing, you're sure to hit it. Well, I like to see people work hard on their alignment, get the club face point into the target, get squared up to the club face. You have to be careful in any golf course, certainly for public golf courses, because the tees are marked, tee markers are carelessly put down. You can aim wrong very easy. So my point is stand right, hold right, and swing the club, and you're going to be a player.
Oh, good. Great. Good. Let me ask you another question, going back even further. How did you get into golf in the beginning?
Very easy. I was in a Latin class, and a kid in front of me said, I made $1 yesterday. I said, good God, how could you do a thing like that? He said, I went over to that new golf course they built in the park, and I carried this guy's clubs around, and he gave me 75 cents, and I got a 25-cent tip. And I said, could you teach me? He said, sure. So I started caddying over there.
Where's this?
Santa Anita.
At Santa Anita?
Yeah. They had just built a balloon school during World War I. They had just built this great park, a baseball stadium with bleachers, great tennis facility, Olympic-sized pool, and a great golf course at Santa Anita. So that's where I started caddying.
And that's how old were you at this time?
Well, I guess I was 13 or
13?
so.
13? And that was your introduction to golf?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What you've done for junior golf and what you've done for golf in general, Len, is just historic in Southern California. I'm very grateful to know you and the inspiration you've been to me, like I said, and being a true golf professional. And
I'll tell you, I think the reverse is true. What you have done for the blind, for the wounded warriors, I should say I'm proud to know you.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Len.
Right from the heart.
I appreciate that. And, and knowing knowing guys like you and, you know, Tom Addis and Jeff Johnson, you guys are all cut from the same cloth. Jamie Mulligan even has been a big inspiration to me over these years. But definitely, you started it all back in '90 when you showed me what a true golf professional is all about. Wow. And I'll never forget that. And you know, Len, you're at the pinnacle of respect for golfers in Southern California. Everybody knows you in Southern California. Everybody has mad respect for you. You're the godfather of great golf professionals. You're the godfather of junior golfers all over the place now. And I'm so pleased that you joined me on Fascinating Five today. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Len Kennett.
How do you like that?